Douglas Haig. Life and background. Full name: Douglas Haig, 1st Earl Haig, born the 19th of June, 1861. Edinburgh, Scotland, died the 29th of January, 1928. London, England. Family came from a wealthy Scottish family involved in the whiskey business. Haig, whiskey educated. At Clifton College, then Brasenose College, Oxford, Stepsa, and later at the Royal Military College. Sandhurst. Early military career: commissioned into the 7th Hussars Cavalry in 1885, served in various imperial campaigns. Sudan Campaign 1898 under Kitchener II. Boer War 1899–1902, rose to prominence for his planning and organizational skills, promoted steadily through ranks in early 1900s. By 1914, he was a respected senior officer, with strong support among military leadership. Early military career: military education, Royal Military College. Sandhurst 1884–1885, graduated with distinction. Top of his class in cavalry training also. Studied at the Staff College, Camberley 1896–1897. A prestigious route for a future senior officer's commission and early postings commissioned. Into the 7th Queen's Own Hussars, a cavalry regiment, in 1885. Served in India in the late 1880s and early 1890s. Known for his strong administrative and organizational skills. Wrote detailed training manuals and developed cavalry tactics. Sudan Campaign 1898, served under Lord Kitchener during the campaign to reclaim Sudan from the Mahdist forces. Battle of Omdurman. Haig commanded cavalry units in a decisive British victory gained Kitchener's favor. This relationship would later benefit his career. Second Boer War 1899–1902. Held a key staff role under General Sir John French. Gained valuable experience in logistics intelligence coordinating. Large troop movements, rose to the rank of brevet lieutenant colonel. Displayed competence in both frontline and staff positions. Rare combination. Staff work and promotions 1902–1914 after the Boer War. Haig held several important administrative and training roles in Britain. Director of Military Training. 1906, Director of Staff Duties, promoted to Major General in 1909. 1912, appointed General Officer commanding Aldershot Command. The largest peacetime field command in the British Army, played a key role in modernizing Army training. Prepared officers for possible continental warfare. Reputation by 1914. By the outbreak of World War I, Haig was respected as a modernizing professional officer. Known for discipline, planning, and loyalty to superiors. Sometimes seen as aloof, reserved, and rigid in thinking. He was considered well prepared for senior command, though not yet battle-tested in a European-style total war. World War I, 1914–1918. 1914, outbreak of war and early battles at the start of WWI. Haig commanded the War First Corps under Sir John French. Then head of the BF, fought in early key battles. Battle of Mons, August 1914. British forces slowed the German advance. First Battle of the Marne, helped stop the German Schlieffen Plan. First Battle of Ypres, October–November 1914, heavy casualties. End of mobile warfare. Western Front, settled into trench stalemate 1915. Rising influence, commanded First Army. During attacks in Artois and Loos. Battle of Loos, September 1915. Disastrous British offensive. First use of poison gas by British. Haig criticized French's leadership and performance. December 1915, replaced Sir John French as Commander-in-Chief of the BF, promoted, partly due to his competence and political pressure from London, 1916. Battle of the Somme, planned with the French to relieve pressure from Verdun. Battle of the Somme, the 1st of July, November 1916. First day, 57,000 British casualties, the bloodiest day in British military history. Total, over 1 million casualties. Across all sides, limited territorial gain, approximately 6 miles. Haig used mass infantry attacks and artillery bombardments, underestimating German defenses, controversy accused of sticking to outdated tactics. Defenders argue he was learning to deal with industrialized warfare. 1917, Battle of Passchendaele, Battle of Ypres-Passchendaele, July-November 1917. Aimed to break through German lines and reach Belgian coast. Poor weather, shelling horrendous. Mud and flooding. British suffered 275,000 casualties. Territory gains were minimal, seen as one of the most wasteful battles of the war. Also involved in the Battle of Arras and support operations for French offensives. 1918, final year. The turnaround. German Spring Offensive. Germans launched major attack. March 1918. British suffered serious setbacks. Haig's famous order, with our backs to the wall. Each one of us must fight on to the Undelayed counteroffensive, the 100 days from August 1918. Haig led successful offensives at the Mengelberg Line, helped push German forces back. Steadily coordinated better with French, Canadian, Australian, and American troops. The 11th of November 1918, armistice signed. War ends. Post-war recognition, promoted to Field Marshal. Created Earl Haig and awarded generous pensions. Founded the Royal British Legion to support war veterans. Post-war recognition and legalized war recognition. 1918 to 1928 titles and honors. 1919. Raised to the peerage as Earl Haig and Viscount Dock awarded. A £100,000 grant by the British government, appointed Knight of the Garter, one of the highest honors in Britain. Given a state funeral upon his death in 1928, public celebrations hailed. Initially as a national hero for helping bring about Allied victory, seen as the general who held the line during Germany's offensives and led the successful 100 Days Offensive in 1918. Support for veterans. Haig's post-war efforts focused heavily on helping those who served under him. Founder of the Royal British Legion. 1921. An organization to support British veterans, particularly the disabled and unemployed. Advocated for war pensions and remembrance. Haig Fund, Poppy Appeal, fundraising initiative to assist war widows, orphans, and wounded soldiers. Introduced the red poppy as a symbol of remembrance. Legacy and historical debate. Haig's legacy has shifted significantly over time and remains deeply controversial. Criticisms, especially post-1960s. Labeled the Butcher of the Somme for his role in battles with massive casualties. Accused of being out of touch. Using outdated tactics like cavalry charges and mass infantry assaults against machine guns. Seen as indifferent to soldiers suffering in the trenches. Books and media, like the satirical show Blackadder Goes Forth, helped reinforce this negative image. Defense's modern scholarship argued he was facing unprecedented military challenges of industrial warfare. By 1918, showed real strategic flexibility and led the most effective British Army in history. Worked effectively with French and American generals during final offensives. Pointed out that other Allied commanders, for example, Schroneval, also suffered enormous casualties. Death and memorial. Died the 29th of January 1928, aged 66. Given a state funeral and honor rarely granted to non-royalty. Buried at Dryburgh Abbey, Scotland. Statues erected in Whitehall, London, and Edinburgh Castle. Controversial legacy. Haig's reputation hinges on how we interpret the scale of casualties under his command, the effectiveness of his leadership, his adaptability or lack thereof to modern industrialized warfare. Military education. Early civilian education. Clifton College, Bristol. Lay prestigious public school in England. Known for discipline and classical education, Haig was a solid student, but not considered especially brilliant in youth. Brasenose College, Oxford. 1880 to 1883. Studied politics, philosophy, and economics. Did not graduate with a degree, partly due to illness and absence. Royal Military College, Sandhurst, 1884 to 1885. Britain's elite officer training school, like West Point in the U.S. Haig, joined at age 23. Older than most cadets. Excelled in cavalry tactics, military discipline, equestrian skills, graduated top of his class in cavalry and earned a commission in the 7th Hussars Cavalry Regiment. Haig was noted for his exceptional performance at Sandhurst, showing leadership potential early on. Staff College, Camberley, 1896-1897. The Staff College trained officers for senior command and general staff roles essential for advancement. Admission was highly competitive and required a rigorous entrance exam. Haig studied strategy and tactics, logistics and planning, imperial and European warfare coordination between branches, infantry, artillery, cavalry. He graduated with high marks, earning recognition for his intellect and organizational skill. Educational philosophy and impact. Haig was a strong believer in professional military education, discipline, and hierarchy, the value of staff work and long-term planning. His formal education, especially at Camberley, made him part of a new generation of officers who emphasized planning, logistics, and coordination, less reliance on social class, more on professional merit, though class still mattered.